I had 2 Modelos before I went to Kiel.
Some Modis, okay.
And then at Kiel, I think I only had 3, 4 Guinnesses, but I had 3 whiskeys.
Shots or
just neat, just sipping.
No.
That's not a great pour, Charlie.
It didn't happen the way I wanted it to.
Yeah, so I don't know why I feel. And then we went to Chewy's afterwards, and I only had like 1
a Coors Light or something.
Yeah,
or back to a Modelo.
I know it was like an 805 or something.
Oh, that's still like a 5%, 4.2.
Yeah, so it wasn't like I was like crushing.
You weren't going heavy.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it's just a accumulation.
Did you eat? Bro,
yeah,
Friday night, I don't even want to tell you. I got all fucked up and puked on the sidewalk, 2nd Street. Yeah, that was good.
Did you?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Shots?
Yeah. I got gifted a bottle of tequila.
We got to plug in.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, I plugged it into... Good call.
I plugged it into... so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck, dude, I drank... I don't think there's a day where I haven't drank.
No, I was gifted a bottle of Kester, so what ended up happening, I was drinking by myself, always good. I had 2 tall boys, which is essentially like 4 beers, right?
Yeah.
2 shots of just this leftover vodka that I had. Then Travis comes over. We have like, I don't know, 4 shots tequila. And then we go out. And he orders from the bar. He wanted. I was trying to get a 2 towns, and it was an allowed bar. The girl ordered 4 pours of 2 towns, so he got his drink, and there was 4 ciders that came out. So I gifted one. He had one of his girlfriends show up, so she got the other one, and then I drank 2 of them.
Are they the Imperial?
I don't know which ones they were. I don't think so. I think that they were just the regular ones. But even still, dude. But it wasn't the booze, dude. It was the pen, bro.
Yeah.
My fucking snail caught me so fucking hard. Oh my lord. Speaking of which, you want one more before?
Yeah, I got mine right here. I don't think I've been sober one night. Christmas, I went to bed hella early. Christmas, I went to bed early because we got up.
Well, that's because you haven't been working, right? You didn't work like this whole week. You and your lady just been tearing it up, huh?
No, not like crazy. Like I had some drinks Tuesday night, but not a lot. And then same like Christmas, only had like a couple.
All right, I got the playoff bracket for when we want to launch into those games.
A CFP.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun day.
Yeah, no, it will be. Yeah, Wednesday will be cool.
Me, you, Trev, and Johnny.
I was going to say 2 by 4, right? And
Josh.
Perfect, yeah. Well, hopefully Trev.
Hopefully Trev.
Golly, man. Got to have a...
All
right. Pod 78.
We tracking?
Yeah, we live on everything. So we got to delete everything that just happened. It never happened.
Give a little hate to my Raiders in the 2nd segment.
Oh, uh-oh.
Dude, I'm so torn.
On trying to love them, or?
Well, yeah, I guess I have to, I think. No, torn on what to do now.
In what sense?
Draft pick wise. I don't
because of where you're sitting?
Well, and I don't love trading up.
I know. You'd have to give up too much.
We can talk about it. All right, ready? Welcome to Balls and Brews.
Hold on. Let the camera reset. I don't know why. Hold on. Let it catch up. It was good, and then... All right, here we go.
All right, welcome to Balls and Brews. Cheers, Chucky.
Cheers, Zach. As you can see, our middleman is currently not here. This one's to you, Trev. We love you, and hopefully...
cheers to Xena, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pup's having a little bit of health issues, so Trev's at home with her.
Dude, this is a good one.
It's just like
this is a good one.
This is one of my more favorite IPAs if I'm going to drink an IPA without the word hazy in front of it.
It kind of, because it's very fruity, actually.
Yeah.
You know, like you get hops, sure, but it's not hops forward.
Yeah, it's not like a Lagunitas or like a like a Sierra Nevada.
Drinks at 7%, you guys. This is classic. This is the one that launched the Voodoo. This is the Voodoo Ranger. Yeah, the one in the back. For sure.
With our sign there, dude. Voodoo
it's
is
classic. The line is out of control right now. It's everywhere.
It's easily. I mean, we drink a lot of, beers that people don't get. You know.
I try to. I try to go a little off script. I don't like it because it's grocery store beer. This is grocery store beer.
But it's like this
isn't bad grocery store beer.
Yeah, it's like elite. Like
Yeah,
it's up in my top whatever.
If you came to the party with a 6-pack of New Belgium of whichever one it is, I'm not mad at you. No matter like.
And I've been a New Belgium fan before, like the Voodoo series caught
Me
fire.
too. Oh, me too, big time. We were drinking Fat Tire forever ago.
I love Fat Tire. And I love Snapshot. That was their wheat with the camera on it. That one I crushed for days.
For when it was around. Two Below is my favorite absolute New Belgium, and it was a winter warmer that they did, and they haven't brought it back, and it has to have been a decade plus since the last Two Below came out, and I've spoken about this on pod. That was the one beer that made me realize what a seasonal was. Oh, yeah. Because when it went away, I was heartbroken. I was just like, what the fuck? This beer was so good. I'd love to have pints whenever I want.
That was like Snapshot for me. Yeah. Because it was out for a hot minute.
Well, that one went on a run for a couple of years.
And then it just went away.
It did, yeah.
But also, we were drinking a lot at the Wall there. And they had
the wall of beers.
Well, they had a huge selection of New Belgium. And then they went on that one thing where it was $2 pints of New Belgium. I don't know if they were getting a deal from New Belgium. So I drank a ton of New Belgium at that point because you get like 5 or 6 taps on that wall that are all New Belgium.
You got like Tripel. You got was it 1853? I think is one of their beers.
Yeah, isn't that their?
That's like a saison, I believe. Yeah. And then
they had Snapshot for a little bit.
Obviously, they had Fat Tire, obviously, which is amber. Yeah, New Belgium has been in the craft game for a minute. Like they're definitely one of I would call the OGs when it comes to and especially making like several different kinds of beers. They don't just specialize in like their amber is their flagship bar none. Fat Tire is for sure.
It is, but this almost feels like their flagship.
I would say the Ranger as a whole
has taken over.
Yes,
like
agreed.
The New Belgium
moniker or like the makeup of their DNA. I agree.
I actually don't know the last time I actually had a Fat Tire. Now that we're talking about it.
Oh, it's been a long time.
And Fat Tire was one of those grabbers. Oh, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? Oh fuck! I'll just grab a 6-pack.
Do you want to know why? For me, anyway, is traditionally because where I can find if I want an amber, I'm going to go Alaskan amber.
Yes,
that's normally if I'm going to grab just a 6-pack of an amber, that's the one I'll grab over the Fat Tire.
100%.
So there you go.
I mean, it's dude. The Alaskan amber is epic.
So we haven't been on since the holiday. So let's go ahead and go over. Some. Did you have any special drink? Any special food? How was your holiday, Z?
Good. Regular kind of food. We had for Christmas Eve. We did like tacos.
Nice.
Ground beef chicken. It was rocked. And then for Christmas dinner, my dad did prime rib, which crushed.
Nice.
And then he gets these fucking potatoes from Omaha. Omaha Steaks. Yeah. They're these little like orange ones, and they're like that big. And he puts them in the oven, and they're like cheesy, but they're crusty on the outside. It is probably one of the best potatoes I've ever had. And that's like the only time we usually eat them.
Sure.
But I crushed those. Mac and cheesy along with it. I was crushing that. But that was it for food. And then beer wise,
I was gonna say anything, because I had some good beers. I'll tell you after.
So I didn't. So like I said, I only had a couple beers. Christmas Eve night, I was just drinking a couple. So I had some Corona, and then Christmas Day, we didn't really have a drink. And then Christmas night rolled along, and I had a couple Amber Box from Michelob.
Throwback.
My dad always gets them.
Man, I didn't even know that's still out.
That's a good.
Where does he find those?
I don't know.
I don't know if I've.
Dude, that's a good beer.
I had no problem slinging those back in the day because it was a cheap beer that had some flavor, right?
And they are good. I had like two or three of those, so I did have something different. I hadn't had Amber Bach, but I always have.
When's the last time you saw one though, out and about, like at a grocery? Maybe I'm just not looking for them, but I swear to God, I thought those went out of like rotation 12 years ago.
Yeah, because
I haven't seen a Michelob Amberbach in fucking ages.
And I'm wondering where he might have gone. Because
he just shops. He's got the plug. Obviously, he's got the plug. He knows where to get them.
I don't think maybe Save Mart has.
I don't know. At this point, I need to just see if I can even find one. I don't want to necessarily buy it, but I swear I haven't seen that black case. I know exactly the writing and the black Save Mart. Maybe, dude.
I'll have to look next.
Yeah, I go to this Save Mart right down here on Plum all the time.
I love a Michelob Amberbach, dude. That's like a.
It's an easy drinker. It's hard to complain about easy drinking, especially on the holidays when you're snacking and you're doing other things too.
A lot of fucking food.
Of course.
Then so I didn't really drink. I had a taste. My dad got a new whiskey and I tasted that. It was fucking. It was hot.
Ooh, was it a single?
No, I don't even remember what. I should have taken a picture. I did actually get 2 new beers, Charlie. Thanks for reminding me.
Excellent.
And I don't know if we've had them on pod. Narnar from Lead Dog, a double IPA.
Yeah, we've fucked that up on pod for sure.
We have? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then God Wars, and it's a triple hazy IPA at 9.9, and the can looks like fillers on it.
And he's like holding a hop.
Yeah, I think.
I
thought he had a hammer.
Did your pops go to Lead Dog? I'm pretty sure it's a Lead Dog beer.
No, I had these 2.
Okay, gotcha.
Because we haven't talked since.
You went down to a triple IPA.
Well, I saw it. No, it's Rayleigh's.
So what'd you think?
Shout out to Rayleigh's.
It's a good beer. I like that. My pops got that in a 4-pack from Lead Dog and brought it home. Yeah.
So shout out to Rayleigh's. They're like...
for a grocery store beer, they know what's up.
They're 4-pack legit, and they have a ton of Lead Dog there. So that's where I get my peanut butter stouts. When I want it, I know exactly where it's at. It's at Rayleigh's. But I got those 2 at Rayleigh's, and then I actually got they had the gummy bears. Gummy worm
why am I drawing a blank? I can see the can. We've had that on pod too,
and I've had it off pod again.
Right, the gummy worms.
I've snacked it up a couple times.
What is it? Oh, I'm drawing a blank. That one's itching the back of my noggin, and I can't get it. That pisses me off.
And then another beer I had that I thought was okay when I first drank it. And then I drank it again.
The revisit didn't do you so well?
No, it did me better. I put it in a glass.
What was it?
The Blue Van Blueberry Wheat. And it's got, like one of the old school VW vans on it.
Oh, that thing's clean.
And it's
who's that by?
It's a Blueberry Wheat.
Okay. I like it. Yeah, I'm a fan of wheat beer. I like me good heavy.
It was really good, actually. I wish I would have saved it for the pod. Brewed and canned by College Street Brew House, Lake Havasu City,
Arizona.
Yeah. Okay. So that was the other one I had. So sorry, I forgot I had 3 new beers.
No, that's excellent.
2 new beers, and then, but I literally saw it and I saw hazy, right? I didn't see it said fucking
hazy triple. IPA. Yeah.
So Angelique got a revision West Coast double IPA that she really liked when she was a revision when she got us that beer from last time.
Makes sense.
So
Infinite Dreams.
So
was the name of that beer, and it was really fucking good.
So I was like, oh well, here's another double IPA. You get this one, the Narnar, and I forgot we had it. She get that, and I was like, I'll just take that hazy next to it. Didn't see it say triple. Went to crack that motherfucker, and I said, no fucking way. So I drank one, and then I went to something else. It was good though.
It
wasn't kicking you in the nuts like I thought a triple IPA was going to kick me.
Right. No.
I thought her Narnar had more of a, but I had the hazy, so the haze took probably that out. So nice. Charlie, what about you? Food and drink wise?
Food was, just the prime rib my pops made. He made this like rosemary salt crust that was phenomenal.
Did he do so my dad got a Traeger and did his on the Traeger.
No, he just does old school oven. He does have a smoker, but he didn't smoke this. He just did it old school oven, slow and low, and then the last part on like basically broil to crisp up, the reverse sear as they call it. Yeah. And everybody in my house likes it, rare. So it was, you can't underdo prime rib for my family. Like, they'll damn near eat it purple. So, it came out really fucking good. He made this horseradish sauce. I paired awesome with it. But what was really the highlight was some of the beers. I found a collaboration with Mother Earth, another hazy IPA we hadn't had. That was fantastic. That drank at like 7.2. I brought over, I don't know if you've had this. It made me think of you big time. I almost bought another one, but they only had one, which I was like, okay. Lead Dog Salted Caramel Porter. Have you had it?
I think we've had it.
You think we've had it? Do you know if you've had, okay.
I think we've had it on pod.
Maybe. I don't know. I brought that as well.
Or you brought it over to the house. It sounds very familiar.
I remember having a salted caramel something, but I don't know if it was the Lead Dog Porter. That was really good too.
Lead Dog also has the churro beer,
right?
Correct?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that is also Lead Dog.
That's why they're my number one.
They make good beer, dude. Lead Dog makes a really good brew from top to bottom. And then it was called Rainbow in the Dark. It was a porter by Shush Boom. that was really fucking good. It was not that traditional roasted malt at the end. It kind of almost had this like fruit apricot is what it reminded me of at the end. It was really interesting. It was like a fruited porter. Like, don't quote me on that. I don't know if that's exactly what it was because the can just said Rainbow in the Dark is what it was called. That was fucking good too. I really enjoyed that one just because it was different. So those were like the 3 different beers that I tried over Christmas as well. And then I had a kombucha that I wanted to try that was fair.
I really can't drink it.
A hard kombucha?
Yeah.
Or just kombucha in general?
Eat both.
I love a good fermented tea. Yeah. That's up my alley for sure. Yeah, and then had some regular Two Town ciders, here and there. This...
Two Towns is
some vodka drinks.
We're gonna do
lager drinks.
We're gonna do a cider later on pod, but Two Towns cider is it's getting up there as like one of the better and like.
What's nice about it too is you can also find it in multiple places.
Well, and now you're getting it on tap like you had it. You're starting to find it on tap and cider on tap. When they used to have, do you remember Smith and Forge?
Yeah.
So Pinocchio's used to have that on tap. Fuck, dude, it was so good off tap. Like a cider on tap ciders in cans. Like this one's gonna be good, and it's from Golden. What's it called?
Golden State, right?
Golden State, and I think we've had 1 or 2 on tap. Yeah. But a cider off tap is. It's so good.
Yeah, no, I think honestly, you guys, like if all you've ever had is like canned beers, then you need to check out the tap game. Go hit up a bar and go try. It's very different when the carbonation is blended into the flow of the beer. Or cider or whatever, a kombucha off tap. It does make a significant difference, especially if you have the right glass as well. Somebody's celebrating.
A trade in the NBA.
What?
A trade Breaking
in the
news?
NBA. What just happened?
Lakers trading D'Angelo Russell to Nets in 4-player deal. Lakers have agreed to trade D'Angelo Russell, Maxwell Lewis, and 3 second-round picks of the Brooklyn Nets for Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton, sources say on ESPN. So this just happened. This just broke like...
is that just like a contract dump then, or
and he's not really ever molded.
He's been a roller coaster.
And Dorian Finney-Smith, I like that move. I like Dorian Finney-Smith. He 6'7", 220. He'll fill into that power forward role.
The stretch 4 that the NBA loves so much. Now the Dirk Nowitzki. Oh, okay, now I'm not making comparisons because nobody's Dirk, but like,
but he averages only 10 points, 4 rebounds, and assists.
Defensive guy then.
Yeah, right? And he'll be a nice come off the bench because we've been kind of beat up top.
Also, I'm not going to poo-poo 10 points per game.
No. And we've been kind of beat up at the middle with some of our bigs. So, but yeah, back to drinking beers and eating food. But yeah.
Who doesn't like drinking beers and eating food? Yeah. Okay. What was funny? Also, I need to mention this because it kind of reminded me of you because you're way more of the blockbuster, the big movie fan. I watched that Red One with...
I can't wait to watch it.
It is... You haven't watched it? You didn't watch it?
I haven't yet. Me and Grace are going to watch it. Hopefully we get it done.
It's hilarious.
I can't wait.
It is everything you're going to love in a movie, bro. Because I was just like... I hope Zach watched this.
I'm so jacked.
Oh, dude.
I'm so jacked.
It is everything you love in an action adventure, comic-y-esque style movie. A lot of CGI, but I mean, the Chris Evans is phenomenal in that movie.
I try to watch a lot of Chris Evans stuff.
He's funny,
and
dude.
I think The Rock,
he's funny.
And I think The Rock does a great job in most every role that he takes.
Because The Rock pretty much plays The Rock. Like
he's just like a big badass dude.
Yeah, he's the head of security for the North Pole is what he is in this movie. Yeah. No, he's done this role a million times. So yes, he's good at it. And if he's going to make $20 million to do it,
But so we've been on a Star Wars. So my son is now into Star Wars. So we did movie
because of the video games, right?
Partially because of the video games. We've been playing a lot of Battlefront 2, and he's been like, he's always kind of been interested but never watched. So we are all the way through 3 now. I think we finished Revenge of the Sith. We might not have finished it. We might have had to go. I gotta remember. But we kind of been doing some
through
Star
the
Wars.
original. He hasn't even seen, or not the original, but the prequels.
No.
He hasn't seen the original trilogies.
So we're going all the way through, starting one because we watched an episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So we did.
It's gonna confuse him real good when you get to the original trilogy.
Yeah, so we did watch. We did finish 3 because then I watched an episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi when I was folding clothes, and he sat there and watched it with me.
An episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yeah, on Disney Plus.
Oh, Kenobi. That's right. There is a Kenobi series. There was a
six episodes.
That's right.
But let's jump into, have you been watching bowl games at all, Charlie?
Oh, man, great question. I tried to get into that BYU-Colorado game last night because I was flipping in between that and the Rams and Cardinals. That obviously didn't go the way I wanted to. We'll talk about the NFL later. But when I was on that BYU-Colorado game, I appreciate and respect Colorado playing their starters, but I don't know what the game plan was because they were terrible. Shador looked mediocre. He had no time. I don't know what is that offensive line if they transferred out already, but they gave him no love.
That offensive line for 2 years hasn't been very good.
I mean, bad. We're not even talking okay, the quarterback held on to it a smidge too long. He could have done something different. It's just no hole in the 2 gap right there. The guard just and then just sack. It's just. There's sometimes you feel bad for players when they're put basically in impossible situations.
Quarterbacks.
And Shador was last night, so he did what he could with what he was given, I guess. But they looked bad, dude. That was not a good final college play, final tape for Hunter and for Sanders.
What's just weird, though, too, is they're both in the fucking Big 12.
What do you mean?
Colorado and BYU were both in the Big 12 and played in a bowl game together. What the fuck are we doing? Why do we match up 2 Big 12 teams?
That is true.
Come on.
Well, did they not play during the regular season, or did they? Was it a rematch?
I don't remember. I don't think they did.
BYU put foot in ass, dude.
BYU's a good team. That quarterback they got, I'm glad he stayed.
And that coach, he's got him clicking, man.
Dude, they're definitely going to be they'll probably be the favorite next year to win the Big 12, I'm guessing, unless you get Arizona State still up there.
Yeah, which we'll touch on here soon when we get into these CFP games. The other bowl game that I want to touch on was the Miami Northern Illinois game where Cam Ward comes out in the first half, throws the 3 dots, breaks Case Keenum's D1 record of career touchdowns, and then sits the second half. So you had one goal. It wasn't to win the game. It was to throw 3 touchdowns by any means necessary. You literally didn't care about the outcome of that game. Is what that says to me.
Yeah, I'd rather have you just, if you're not, I think we've talked on pod before about do you like players sitting out these, unmeaningful bowl games? And I think if you're gonna be a first round draft pick, I get it. I don't necessarily know if I love it, but I get it. You're trying not to get hurt. We've seen, the linebacker for Notre Dame got hurt that one year, dropped his draft stock down to, the 3rd round. So I understand it.
Yeah, that was Jalen Smith.
Yep, I understand it. And I can get on board with it if you're, whatever, it's a meaningless bowl game. I do not like coming out and doing something for a record and then sitting in the second half. I think that's fucking Bush League shit. And it wasn't like you were just beating the fucking piss out of me. There was a close-ass game.
They lost the game. It was 32-31 was the final, I believe.
Yeah.
They lost the fucking game. The Pop-Tart Bowl. Or 33-32 something. It was a 1-point game. 1-point win for Northern Illinois. And that is just, it's everything that's kind of wrong. College football has lost itself. What they need to do and what they've needed to do for a while, the fact that the transfer portal is open during bowl games is insane. It should be absolutely off season, as it were, if that's how it's going to be, or if the fact that you can transfer right now, if you're just I want to forego this, this next couple of, if you're in a bowl game, you should not be able to transfer yet.
Well, here's what I heard on that, is that the reason that they do the transfer portal now is because of the way the school year lines up. Because if they wait till after the transfer portal,
so now they're going back to academics.
So if they wait, it's,
you got to be fucking kidding me.
It wasn't Northern Illinois beat Fresno.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was Northern Illinois. Who was it
Iowa
then?
State.
Iowa State. That's it. I'm so sorry. I botched that a couple of times. Thank you for correcting me. Let's go back and correct that. Iowa State, who was they were supposed to play for the Big 12 title game.
They lost. They had a couple.
Oh, they did. They lost. Yeah.
Remember they beat Iowa. State. And then they had a couple other close wins, and we're like, holy shit, Iowa State.
Well, they were undefeated for a while. They were like 9-0 there for a minute, yeah.
But I heard that argument, which I can understand, like classes and all that stuff. I can understand it.
That's
but
so
insane
to me.
I still don't like that it opens now. It's just, you're trying to get them in. Well, why can't you just transfer at the end of the school year and then you're in before spring ball? I don't know. That's not, because you got to look like the kid from Penn State, the backup quarterback, had to enter the transfer portal, and he hella wanted to be there for Penn State's run. He's like from the area and all that shit. But for him, because Drew Allard came back, so for him to play, he's got to transfer out.
Right,
but he has to transfer.
But
he's got to transfer right fucking now, because if he doesn't transfer now, he's not transferring until later. And then maybe
he
doesn't
then
get to
gets
school.
Swooped up. Yeah.
So it puts the kids in a shitty spot too. It's not just the kids bouncing out, but the transfer area where it's at puts these kids in shitty spots. You got the backup quarterback. Both backup quarterbacks in that game actually transferred out. The Penn State and SMU guy.
Well, yeah, why not? Okay.
But it just sucks that those kids have to
do it now and not be able to. Because knock on wood, what if Allard gets hurt and they need that backup guy?
Right.
Yeah,
and it's not like not the kid from fucking UNLV who fucking entered the transfer portal. Because
went there and then he didn't get his fucking NIL. Yeah. While being in a contract, if you don't pay me that contract, and your only leverage is to take back your services.
If there was a contract,
it's fucking ridiculous. There has to be now, right? Or no? Do they just? But that's the thing. Okay. Here's the point I wanted to get to. We all love what NIL should be. What the NIL is now is lawlessness. They have to find a way to come up with definitive. They launched it too quickly, I guess, which is crazy to say because they've been talking about it forever. But there's no governing body. There's no maxes or minimums or timelines, or there's no rules basically to it, man. It's crazy.
It's Wild Wild West.
Yeah, essentially. And it's not that collectively, I know we all agree with the idea of, hey man, if somebody's going to use your name, image, and likeness to make money off of you, you should be making a bit of that money. I completely agree with that. But there has to be some sort, it has to be treated just like any other professional. If these kids are 18, 19, 20 years old, whatever, going into contracts with these schools or whatever third-party entity you want to run it, there needs to be some sort of funnel that you can't go out of. Otherwise, it's illegal. Otherwise, you just have this recklessness of wherever the money's coming from, who cares? And you can give it to whomever you want. And it just needs more guidance, more guidelines, more, laws, rules. It does. And it's weird for me to say that because traditionally I'm not a huge fan of the idea, but it is. It's killed college football, as far as I know.
So today, another breaking news. I don't know how breaking. Fucking Raiders winning. Penn State's Franklin came out today and said that Saban should be the head commissioner for college football, which
who cares about that? That's not
that would be to overlook, and maybe that starts putting in some of those guidelines. Because right now, college football is not governed by anybody. You have the SEC governs
commissioners.
Themselves.
They have commissioners.
Yeah, you got the commissioners, so you have no governing body. If Saban,
the NCAA as a whole is kind of a sham if you think about it.
So you put a dude like Nick Saban at the top, dude, and then you get
funnel down from there, right?
Instead of having the SEC's got this commissioner. He is the dude for college football. And for fucking basketball, college football isn't the same as the rest of these sports. And people need to stop thinking it is. College football's on a whole different level than college basketball, than college hockey, than
absolutely.
Baseball or softball.
When college football is at peak form, it is the only thing that competes with the NFL. Close. It still doesn't overtake the NFL, but it competes with it. If the matchup is prime, like this Oregon-Ohio State game that we'll talk about, is going to draw a fuckload of eyes. Yeah, this is everything in college football that you wanted. But it's just, okay, I think they need more than just one commissioner. They need like a deciding table or deciding, like, they need a body. They need more than just one dude. Nick Saban can't do it all by himself.
No, but he needs to be like that. Him being a person.
No,
on the board,
he could be the president
huge.
of said board or whatever. I get that. I'm not against that idea.
And you take it and then you do their own thing. Like
you funnel. You make you write standard operating procedures, SOPs. There has to be.
Having people vote on who is the top 12 teams instead of just doing like an NFL model where you have 40 of the best teams and then you do what soccer does and you have relegation to get into the 40. That's what it should be. And then you can keep this shit to where kids aren't flying from fucking USC to fucking Rutgers or Rutgers to USC or Rutgers to Washington or Cal
New Jersey
ACC. You got fucking Florida.
When I watched Miami play Cal with the ACC logo on it felt really fucking weird.
So like get rid of like that shit, and then you don't need a fucking committee to vote on it because it's going to be set. You have for your fucking playoff teams, you get 7 on one side and 7 on another, and they fucking meet up just like the NFL. Why can we not get this right?
Well, because we're in unknown territory, as it were, because for the longest time it was about college football, student athlete. Okay, you didn't have all these transfer rules. You chose a school to go to because the degree was supposed to be more important than playing the football, right? It carried that way for a long time until obviously the money became so overwhelming that you couldn't ignore, what these kids were bringing to these institutions.
Yep.
However, you've lost the Pac-12. The Pacific Coast League was the longest running conference in college football, and it no longer exists.
Yeah, they shot themselves in the foot.
They did. We've talked about that, but it's sad. It breaks my heart as I sit here in Seattle gear as a diehard Husky fan, dude. Like, watching them play in the Big Ten didn't hold the same weight for me. Now, the matchups were great. That's why they did it. I get that part. The eyes pulled to the big matchups. Big Ten was a bigger name currently than the Pac-12. But once again, I spoke on this on a fandom a couple of weeks ago about the Pac-12 teams won the Big 12, won the Big 10. These teams, it's not to say that they were devoid of talent or good teams. It's just that you guys never gave them the shot in the market when you have a 10:30 kickoff. I can't blame you. I'm not staying up in New York to watch USC play fucking Cal at 10:30 p.m. when I'm a fucking, Penn State fan. Like, that doesn't make any sense. The only time they drew eyes like that was the Pete Carroll era down in SC when they had transcended college football. They were like they were celebrity status, dude. Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, like.
Because also remember there was no NFL in LA
at the time. That's absolutely correct. Yeah, neither the Raiders, or not the Raiders. I'm sorry, the Rams nor the Chargers were there. That is correct.
So USC football was
for sure. Yeah, and they were high flying. God, those teams were so good.
You had like Will Ferrell on the sidelines. You had all these celebrities on the sidelines. I mean, you had it all. So let's talk about these 4 games that we got coming up on. Was it Tuesday?
Well, one is New Year's Eve, and then the other 3 is New Year's. So,
sorry, and then I'll try to throw out some dudes to watch as you're watching these games.
So the one on New Year's Eve, the first one we're gonna get is 3 versus 6, Boise State versus Penn State. It's going to be really interesting to see what Ashton Denty can do against. I think they're like a top 3 run defense in the nation. Penn State is. So that's going to be that's plus versus plus, right? That's kind of what you want to see.
Penn State, Abdul Carter, number 11. He is a beast.
He's a top 10 prospect.
He's top 5 prospect.
Top 5, nice.
He's probably not. If he made it past the Raiders at 6, I'd be very surprised. And I know you got 2 quarterbacks in there, but he's up there. He's the number 1 D player probably. Because you got Travis, who's receiver and corner.
I'm curious to see how he's valued in the NFL. Right?
I am too. I think that my opinion would be if he's a shutdown corner, you put him at corner, and then you let him be your number 3 receiver, not your number 1. And then if he still can be a number 1 because in the NFL he's not going to be able to play the snap count. That's what I'm more worried about. So be your lockdown corner all the time. and then come in when we have 3-4 wide receivers, and you're still my number one option, maybe?
Think about it this way right now, okay? So in the Big 12, he's playing against 20 to 30 dudes across all those teams that might get into the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay? Going to a league where everybody is elite across all roster spots.
And then maybe he gets the NFL and he's more elite at wide receiver. I think you take him in as both and then just see where it goes.
You just take him off pure athleticism and talent, and if he's just the availability, anybody can use a shutdown corner or a standout wide receiver. Yeah. Anybody in this fucking league. Don't tell me otherwise. Like Joe Burrow would love another weapon, even though he's got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
Well, they won't both be there. So
no, yeah, T. Higgins is going to be a very, very sought after free agent. He bet on himself and he had a great year. He had 2 tuds just yesterday. Three at the game winner.
He's getting big money.
He's gonna because that eye test. He's got great hands, good footwork. He's got great size. Like I would love me some T. Higgins, bro. You pair him with JSN.
Another kid to watch out of Penn State who I think is going to make his way up the draft boards. Well, and I think me and Chuck talking off pod. Running back's one of the
thicker positions going into this draft.
One of the best positions with edge. So you got the kid Singleton, Nicholas Singleton, out of Penn State's number 10. Dude, Chuck, he weighs 227, and they have projected he's a run under a 4.40. I got to watch him again. Like, that's what I've been trying to do with all these bowl games that don't mean shit, is watch some of these other players and try to get a feel. Because we don't get to see, like, North Carolina play all the time. Well, they didn't even play the running back I wanted to watch. But trying to get a feel for some of these guys and what they're doing. Like, the quarterbacks especially I've been trying to watch.
Sure. But if you look, I would say this year the league has had great running back play.
Oh, yeah. Henry, Saquon, Josh Jacobs.
Yes, exactly. Those are the top 3, and they've all been doing it very well for new teams, by the way.
I mean, even you guys have had, I know
Charbonnet's had a couple of good games.
But you guys have had some
Walker's,
good runs. Look at what Trev Madison did for some games. You've had, the running back position is just devalued. It doesn't mean it's not as important.
It needs to be considered to be more important, dude. When look at these records that these teams have. When a quarterback doesn't have to throw a million times and put themselves, you could stay in front of the sticks with a good running back.
It's also when you how can long get, do they stay good.
When you can get and hitting it on the right year. They're kind of darts. They're darts. On certain years, running backs can be close to Eric Dickerson. On other years, they can look like absolute dog shit. It's crazy.
The offensive line, you play behind the Miles Sanders going from the Eagles
head
to
coach,
the Panthers.
Dude. Yep. Or not head coach, but I mean, yes, because dude, we have Kenneth Walker. We at 30th. We were 30th in average yards rushing per game with a guy who could be he's definitely a top 10 talent. His numbers don't reflect top 10 because he doesn't get enough touches. And I saw this stat the other day, and now I'm kind of sidebarring onto the Seahawks, but we have more contact in our backfield. Our running backs have taken more hits 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage than any other team in the NFL. And I believe it. Because right, correct. And they make more. They don't lose those yards, though. That's the best part about Kenneth Walker. He'll take a 1 or 2 yard loss and make it a 1 or 2 yard gain. Those hidden yards that you don't lose, that keep you in 2nd and 8 rather than 2nd and 10, matter every game.
What's your prediction on the Boise State?
On the Boise, yes, thank you bringing me back in. I think Penn State gets it.
I do too.
I think that they zero in on Genty and they try to make it a one-dimensional game. And with Abdullah coming off the fucking edge, I think he's going to create enough havoc.
And the rest of that defensive line seems to be
tight.
Havoc.
Is tight. That's what they're known for. Franklin is not. They're not going to kill you with offense.
I know they put the beating on Penn State. It'd be nice for Drew Aller to get another game under his belt because he's going back, but he might make a push for the number 1 dude next year. The way he looked like he needs
to go back.
He
makes sense.
He seems like he's got the big arm most
times.
I
think it's going to be honestly like 24-10 is what I'm seeing there.
I don't know. I'm closer to like the 27-30.
Oh, you think it's going to be a higher score?
I think that Penn State ends up just wearing it down. Like, they're just going to beat you, and then they're going to hit a big play, beat you, hit a big play. Who's the first game on a Saturday?
It is going to be an absolute slaughterhouse. Texas versus Arizona State.
I wish Arizona State would be
against Boise State. That's the
or even against Penn State.
Yeah. No, this is. this is where the CFP is going to suffer for a little bit until they figure out.
You just put your top 4 seeds and then reseed it.
Yeah, agreed. It's absurd that you don't, like, especially if you're going to have the neutral site games. You can fly the teams anywhere. Yeah. They can say, okay, you can go to, like, they can figure that out logistically. They do it in the NFL all the time. It's the same amount of people. Well, there's more people in college. Technically, they have like 70 on there.
And Texas's defense is just fucking elite. Their offense.
They have been for a while.
Their offense makes me like
hurt.
Question. I don't know. Like,
they're
it's
just
so,
they
like,
should be good. They're one of those. They should be good. And they just aren't all the time.
Yeah, because you got Isaiah Bond, which I don't really know what to think of him. He might be another Worthy type dude where he's just fast. I don't know what number he is for Texas off the top of my head. He's receiver. Quinn Ewers, I keep trying to watch him, and I keep seeing the same thing.
He's just a regular guy, is what
there's
they're
nothing
saying.
Special.
He's a backup, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing special with him.
Which, hey, I'm not going to shit on the guy. If he declares and he gets out. And,
you know what I was thinking he should do? I think he should have fucking transferred out and then try to go somewhere else for one more year.
Did he declare already? No,
I don't know
because he's still playing. Can you declare while you're still playing? I know Carson Beck did because he's hurt and he can't come back. But UCL, that sucks. That Tommy John,
that looked like it hurt like a motherfucker.
It did. Oh yeah.
When we were watching that, holy shit.
Oh, you don't want your arm coming this way while your elbow is like going the other direction. Not good. Anybody who's done any sort of sports workout understands, like, you got to keep that shit in line.
We're both on Texas.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, if ASU comes out and shocks the world, I'm not against it. I got nothing against Sparky and Arizona State, really.
I have to go back in my records. I think I picked Oregon, Ohio State for the thing, but I think I had Texas making it pretty far. But I didn't know Oregon, Ohio State were going to be the next game we're going to talk about. The best game on the lineup, right?
Which is the afternooner. Yeah, it's not even the night game. It's the afternooner.
A lot of teams are watching that game, Charlie.
Oh, my God, dude. That's
You're right.
that is – it's the national title we pretty much got robbed out of. Well, or even like a semifinal.
If we get Oregon, Texas, that won't be bad. I got to look – who
would go on if – it would
be –
Who
plays Oregon, Ohio State next?
Oregon – it would be the winner of Texas, Arizona State. Yeah, it would be Oregon, Texas, or Ohio State, Texas, or okay, look, football can football.
But dude, having to beat Ohio State and then Texas for Oregon, or even Ohio State having to beat Oregon then Texas, dude, that is a fucking
it's a grind. Yeah, no, it's a grind because then you have Penn State, Boise State, Notre Dame, Georgia on the other side. No, it's clearly stacked on one side. You got 3 out of the 4 teams on the top side that are fucking brutal, which is good.
You got 2 running backs for Ohio State who could go pretty high.
Yeah.
Trayvon Henderson's more of the burner and probably the better back. The other kid, Jenkins, he's a bigger back, so he's more of the pounder.
Sure.
And then the whole defense is fucking
Mbuka for a wide receiver. So
he's probably number 3 of the wide receivers, and those might be the only 3 that go. The kid from Missouri, the kid from Arizona, and the kid from Ohio State.
That kid from Arizona put himself on the map.
Dude, he's 6'5", bro.
Well, yeah, and he's got hands and range. Yeah, like. And when you come out and put up fucking almost 300 yards, or he did put up a 300 earlier in the
Isaiah Bond, the kid from Texas, might make first round.
Depends on what his underwear Olympics test out.
You got the kid for Ole Miss, Harris. Some of that stuff too is seeing what their hands look like in real life too. You catching them, Are you dropping balls? Yeah. But I'm going Oregon, dude. I know you can't. I'm pulling for Oregon to win it all. I'm still trying to pull that Pac-12. The Pac-12 love and the West Coast love. That's where I'm at.
I get it.
I'm picking Oregon. I'm picking Oregon all the way through.
I can't. Because eventually I want them to stumble.
Because I'm looking at this Dylan Gabriel and wondering if that's my guy next year. Not in the first round, but I'm talking, like 3rd round. Do we go Dylan Gabriel? See if I don't know, man. I kind of like him, so I want to watch him play. Last game.
Okay. I honestly think.
Can they do it twice?
Right. That's exactly where I'm waffling because Oregon State was only a point off. Ohio State. And also, there's that rule change. Remember what Dan Lanning did? He put the 12th man on the field to get the penalties so they could have the 10-second runoff. Well, they closed the loophole the next day. I mean, if that's not knowing the rule book, I don't know what else is. Technically, that he didn't.
Well, it's like Harbaugh doing that fucking field goal thing the other day.
Oh, the free kick? Yeah, dude. Hey, man.
Dude, and you know the rules, dude, and you can use them to your advantage. Fucking more power to you, man.
It's how the rule was written. It's the letter of the law, as it were. You know what I mean?
More power to you, man.
I think Ohio State's going to get this one. I really do. I think they have the juice coming into this game after just absolutely spanking in fucking week one.
Giving Tennessee just a fucking beatdown. And I thought Tennessee would play better.
That was supposed to be the better matchup.
Tennessee looked cold.
Yeah, they did.
They look cold. And talking about, SEC can go up and play in the North. Maybe not.
Their quarterback didn't have much. He needed to have more.
It gets to 10 to 21. It's 10 to 21.
Yep.
They get a stop.
Yeah.
They get the ball back.
And he throws a pick.
And you're like, go down, fucking get a tutty, get points.
Even a field goal, yeah.
Nada.
Throws a pick.
Game over.
Yeah, and then they went up 28-10 and they never looked back. They never looked back after that turnover.
I think Dylan Gabriel is a better quarterback than Will Howard, and that's the reason you're going to get the win with Oregon.
If Ohio State does it, I think Ohio State's going to win this game.
You do?
I do. I'm also, unfortunately, as gross as this sounds, hoping, because I don't want to see Oregon even get close. I want to see them get their soul snatched.
If Ohio State does win this game, are you going to pick Texas next week, or would you pick Ohio State? Because Texas is going to win.
Yes, they should. I'm way more.
And I would love Arizona State to win.
Exactly. That's what
I would love for Boise State to win too.
The game hasn't happened. Anything can happen, but if I was to bet the house on one side of that, I'm not
betting the house
at
on
any
Texas
point
and Penn
putting
State.
it on Arizona State. Exactly. Yeah, on either of the. They're just not their programs.
Are you horns up then, brother?
No. In that
Against
matchup,
Ohio
I think
State?
Ohio State would still beat Texas. I think Ohio State is probably the best team from top to bottom when they are clicking at their 100%er. Now, they've had games where they're not there, obviously. But when they play to their talent level and when they play, when Ryan Day has them going, they are the best team in the nation.
If Oregon or whoever they play, which when they go to Texas or play Texas, if they get past Oregon, when their run game, when Travion and the other kids,
when Will Howard just gets to lay it up, when he just gets to run some play action, little quick really outs. Good. Oh my God, they're insane.
When you stop the run, as in Michigan,
right.
With those kids, that Graham kid, he's maybe the second defensive player coming off the board. You got another kid that's a D lineman that might come first round at Michigan, and they stop the run, and then you have to rely on Will trying to throw it. He's not.
He's good, not great.
Dude,
it's why he's not being talked about like C.J. Stroud.
You know who looked good the other day?
You tell me.
Kid from Syracuse.
Oh yeah, McCord. McCord
dude.
Threw for another. No, see,
he's just chucking it all over the yard.
This is the problem with him. Is he's exactly that. So when it's going great, he looks like a number one pick, and then when it's going bad, he's doing nothing but throwing picks. He's had a 5-pick game this year. Like,
I know. I was watching going.
Having a short memory is not a bad thing, though. It can translate to the NFL. But he transferred out. Kyle McCord was the Penn State quarterback.
He was Ohio State.
Ohio State. I'm so sorry. That's right.
He threw some shade at them.
Well,
did you see the comments after the Michigan game? He said, "What goes around comes around."
Okay, yeah, whatever, dude. You don't get to go to Syracuse and then bark at a better program that you left. I'm sorry. You don't. That's,
I like it.
Fair enough.
They might have done. Well, we don't know if they did him dirty or not.
Sure. I mean, they wanted a better quarterback. Is basically what they said. The matchup of the evening, and we don't need to dive too far into this one. Should be a slaughter as well. I would think is Georgia Notre Dame.
I'm picking Notre Dame.
You get the fuck out of here. Yep. Oh, because they're on a backup quarterback.
I'm never impressed with Georgia's offense throughout the year. You get down and then you make a triumphant comeback, and then you would either win or lose at the end. I think Notre Dame's defense is going to be one of the better defenses they've played, and I know that's saying a lot coming from the SEC, but I think Notre Dame's defense is legit. Offensively, Notre Dame just wants to run the ball down your throat. Notre Dame's offense is kind of like Ohio State's offense.
It's the closest.
Where you can run the ball.
Closest spread. It's at minus 1.5 for Georgia.
When you can run the ball, and then Riley Leonard doesn't have to carry the weight, you got a bad offense. But you need the run game to work. I think Notre Dame's going to come and get a dub here, dude.
You have said that. You were saying that a while ago too.
I know they didn't play a hell of a hard schedule, but like what they did last week and what they've looked like kind of throughout the year looks the exact same. You don't give up any points, and when you run the ball, you beat teams up, and you just beat them, and then all of a sudden it breaks. I think that's I don't know, Georgia. I'm not saying Georgia breaking. I'm saying this game's like 17-10.
Okay.
Like 13-10, and Georgia's a backup quarterback.
Right, which is massive at this time of year. I want to revisit real quick because I just started looking at the lines. They have them in the upper right-hand corner of these matchups. Ohio State, is a road favorite, against Oregon, the number one undefeated team in the nation.
It's not necessarily a road favorite. You're both playing a neutral site. It's not in.
It's the Rose Bowl, baby. They're in LA. So the Oregon fans have a much easier trip than the Ohio State fans do.
I would take Oregon in that game. What's the point?
It's 2.5. So Ohio wins the game. Basically, yeah. But I mean, still, dude.
What's Texas's fucking number?
12.5.
I see it.
12.5.
I like Arizona State. I like that coach.
They were picked 16th in the Big 12 to come out this year, and they won it. So
Cam Scadabo's a fucking monster behind, running the ball. I don't know.
So you're going Notre Dame, and I'm going Georgia.
So we're off. We're only 50%, dude. We're only 50%. We both disagreed on the actual better games.
Oh, I guess that's true, yeah, because you took Oregon and I took Ohio State. Okay, good. No, yeah, a little discrepancy helps,
I can't believe
we talk about more angles.
Do I really want Notre Dame to go to the national championship?
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't. You don't. You don't. They could.
They would go to Penn State next, dude.
Could, yeah.
That's how the bracket's so fucked. That is so fucked. Dude, that is...
Yeah, Penn State has the easiest shot as a 6 seed. Yeah.
That's fucked.
Has a really not easy shot, but the easiest out of Arizona State, and has not a shot. If they beat Texas, which would be insane to begin with, they're going to have to play Ohio State or Oregon in the following game.
Dude, we're going to see the Iowa State-Oregon game is going to be epic. Then the Texas on the winner of that game is going to be epic. And then we're going to get to a national championship game where I hope that those two teams who played the Texas or, Ohio State or Oregon don't beat each other up too much that they get into the national championship game and then lose to a Notre Dame or Penn State. Like, those games are going to be so much better. Texas versus whoever, Oregon, Ohio State, those are going to be good games. I don't think the Notre Dame game and the Georgia game might be close. It ain't going to be a good game.
I don't think you're wrong there. I think it's going to be a lot of punts, some turnovers, some sloppy play. Like you said, 17-13, 17-10, 13-10, dude. Whatever.
Oregon, Ohio State.
Nobody over 20.
We're like 35-32,
Well, or the 20-17 is going to have some electric plays. It's going to have some, storylines, some drama. Like, you can watch a 17-13 game between those two, like Georgia and Notre Dame. That's like punt, okay, maybe a muff. You get close, you kick a field goal because they hold you on 3 downs, some shit like that. 6-3 Seattle. Let's go Seahawks.
Yeah, that game was fucking awful.
Well, then in that case, let's go fill up our beer and we'll come back with segment 2.
Yeah, that game was fucking awful.
It was bad, you guys. It was bad. We're not going to talk about it.
They should almost get rid of Thursday night games in general.
We might have that topic coming up.
Most Thursday night games aren't good. We can go back through scores.
No, I don't disagree.
Most of them are not good.
You need the rest. You need the rest.
Dudes are not even like you're not even really practicing before a fucking Thursday game, dude.
All right, segment 2.
Welcome back to Balls and Brews. Cheers, Chucky. Dude, look at the color of this bad boy, dude.
It's like translucent.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Oh, that's easy to drink. 1 pint radical pineapple. Golden State cider. We kind of teased this earlier in the first segment.
That's good. That is definitely
That
good.
is insanely balanced.
Crafted with pineapples and cinnamon sticks. I don't really know if I get the cinnamon.
No, but what it does is it allows that pineapple, starts off super sweet, but then it kind of gives a little, it dies a little bit. And between the apple and the cinnamon, that's what kind of pulls it back. Because it'd be too sweet. If it finished with that pineapple high, it'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
But
it's tasty.
These guys are out of Santa Rosa, California. And it drinks at, let's find it,
6%.
6%. All right. Yeah, there it is. 6% ABV. Yeah. It's so funny when you get different cans and stuff and you got to look for, some have it like with the label.
It's gluten-free and vegan-friendly if you needed that too.
So, I would hope so, dude. Apples and pineapple. There shouldn't be fucking any wheat in here. You don't need to put gluten-free on things that are like, don't traditionally have gluten. When you put gluten-free on a pizza, that makes sense. Gluten-free on something that's made with apples and pineapples.
And vegan-friendly butter.
Yeah, just in case, pineapples start eating each other meat or whatever. Get the fuck out of here. You guys, look, I respect anybody's diet choice or needs, based off of their body. It's different for everybody. Yo, slam some raw fish, bro. I went and took my mom out to sushi a couple weeks ago, and it hit a nice spot.
Where'd you go?
It's called OA. It's just right next to that Rayleigh's and that Flowing Tide on McCarran and Longley because they live right there.
Yeah.
Like so Miraloma.
Flowing Tide. Okay, I know the Flowing Tide's at.
Yeah, the Miraloma and McCarran.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So it was good. They were really good. It was funny. They did it was busy in there enough, but they kind of did that linger in between orders thing where it's just like, hey, if you could just bring me the food that I ordered, that'd be real nice. Like I ordered this a while ago.
I get too full, then I can't.
That's their whole strategy. Yeah. That's what they want to do, so you don't get a fourth order.
I had that I felt like I did that at the joint off of Pyramid.
That's the OG one. Yeah, the original.
I felt like we got
the joint.
Yeah, we got the guy that was making the orders for the tables too. So then
he came back to you only 20 minutes every 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
It was just like I'm trying to get work done.
Okay, but absolutely. So to a Golden State, this is delicious. I really like it. It's balanced, especially for a 6% cider.
Because it's not like it's a 5, so that also helps with not being a sweet. If it was a 5%, it might be a little bit sweeter.
Get more of them sugars. Yeah. Sugar. All right, Z. So we got some good and bad things to talk about with the NFL. So bring some of that wheelbarrow.
We talked about NFL kind of. College football is the only thing that gets close. Well, college football CFP, the ratings came out. The CFP. The NFL had 2 games on that Saturday, right? That the CFP was going.
Yes.
The 2 games outdid the CFP by a long shot. So, for one, you kind of knew it was coming. But secondly, why in the fuck are you having? If you're going to go up against the NFL, then go up against the NFL and don't put your shit on Max, where only half of your viewership
Not even. No.
Well, I guess if you look at the percentages, I guess if you had TNT too.
But that's got to come with a Fubo or something. Not even Fubo. I'm sorry. The only one that has it exactly. So so you're getting even more niche. You're getting down the rabbit hole and trying to make this less available. And then going against the Titan of the NFL.
You did have to go against the Chiefs and the Texans, and then the Ravens and Steelers. So you have 2 big matchups, but still.
Well, that was Christmas. Those 2 games were Christmas.
No, the Ravens played the Chiefs played the Steelers on Christmas. On that Saturday game, it was the Ravens and Steelers, and it was the Texans and Chiefs because the Ravens.
That's it. That's it because then they rotated the next week Christmas, to play.
Which is fuck. We'll get to that in a second. I just, if you're going to go up against them, go up against them. But, putting stuff on these other streaming networks. Okay, so here's the next one. NFL comes out yesterday, I think it was. I've had a lot of days off here.
Lucky him.
And said that, Netflix Christmas Day games are the biggest streaming ever, most numbers. Well, how many times you guys stream fucking games? Thursday night games suck. 6-3, not great, not a good watch. When has there been a good Thursday night game watch? There aren't a lot.
There's not.
There are a lot of... Dude, you're asking these guys that are bigger, faster, stronger. We're talking about dudes in that weigh 300 pounds that run 4.740s. We talked about the Olympics. You want that guy fucking running full speed and hitting you, and you got to get up and you got to get hit by that guy 4 times, and then you got to get up 4 days later and play another game? That's ridiculous. I feel like that Netflix thing is almost not fake news, but kind of like fake news. Ooh, look at us. We're the NFL. Yeah, we know you dominate. You shouldn't have been on Christmas anyway. You kind of stole from your NBA people, but like, why would you? For one, you're not competing with them, so why do you just go and just like try to take it all? Let NBA have the day. I remember watching NBA games for a long time on Christmas. You go do the family stuff, come home, relax, watch Christmas Day games, and then go back to do the family stuff. Like when I was younger, like I don't know, man. I mean, do you think that it's like not fake news about them coming out and being like, oh, look at us streaming, but it's not like I don't know.
There's 2 points, and I think you've made them. Is that one? Okay, obviously streaming on Netflix or anything with Netflix, that is probably the one viable streaming option that the vast majority of people do have because they've been around for fucking ever. Netflix is like the OG streaming. So they were the first one to get into the game as far as I remember.
I really would like to see the numbers on that stuff because we only get Amazon because we subscribe to Prime. So you pay the $100 a year and you get the stuff like
the membership.
Yeah. So that's the only way you get that one. But I would like to know, like, Netflix has got to be the number one. Like,
oh yeah, subscribe to a streaming platform. Yeah, it's not even close. I think Hulu's a second and a distant second at best. But okay, what bums me out, and we talked about this off pod, was that you're taking away from the NBA when you don't need to. You guys have been in, you guys have scheduled around each other for fucking years. Forever it's only been the NBA on Christmas. Forever. Now they've even launched more games. It used to only be 3 games. Now it's 5. They have it literally all day from like 10 a.m. West Coast to like 10 p.m. West Coast. They have basketball on, which, I mean, if you're an NBA fan, you can't get enough of kind of thing. But it sucks that a business as big as the NFL has to take away from the pageantry of another sport when they don't need to. Yeah, they've for 60 years not scheduled games, 70 years not scheduled games on Christmas.
Unless it's been on a Sunday. Which, I don't know last time Chris was on a Sunday.
A handful of years ago. It rotates, right. So, okay, there you go. Boom. So, that one is scheduling. You just look at the NBA and say, well, that's our day. Sunday is our day. They know that, right? So, okay. But to deliberately go out of the way to set up the schedule just to milk the calendar to get as many games. And then, that's the fuck thing. Then you don't even put the games on network television. You go and hide them on streaming services. Like, NFL, that's just bootsy, dude. Because then, if you're in a local market, it gets blacked out. Then you either got to go to the bar or to somewhere that streams it, or it's a logistic nightmare. You're screwing the fans while trying to get more money out of them too, and then you're making them peel back between NBA games and NFL games. And most sports fans, I would say, are fans of multiple sports. Like when you are a fan of sports, you like the big 3 pretty much. Or even hockey can get thrown in there. There's a lot of soccer fans that are coming out of nowhere now, which is cool because soccer's a fucking big sport, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, the MLS is actually doing for them numbers, as where Lionel Messi in Miami doesn't hurt. But
that's what's doing numbers.
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is, though, you don't make the sports fan have to choose. You got to let them have both. And the NFL makes enough fucking money everywhere else.
Why try to compete with the MLB and NBA? Why don't you just give them their days and let them have those days? It just makes let them excel too. Why try to steal from them when
it makes you look like a complete dickbag because you're going out of your way to do it because you've been running as your association making billions of dollars for years without being on Christmas, and now you just got to be there all of a sudden.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it. You literally
don't like that NFL. I don't like it.
You have the season is September to February.
Sucked. The game sucked on Christmas this year.
Yeah, they only on like 2 days rest. You have the game. You have basically September to like middle of February, and then you have all the draft talk from February to April, right, where baseball's at, and then April it kind of dies down because the draft happens. And you listen, like mini camps and stuff aren't real big.
You only track your team at that point.
Yeah, and then you take back over. I guess you take back over at August. So you basically have August almost all the way to April, and then you only lose those other months. Let those other people have their day.
Well, there's still even no losing months because if you have a big trade or if you have a huge injury that comes out of nowhere, the NFL will, even if it's the offseason, will overtake a regular season of the. Do even the fucking finals. Even if the NFL has a major story break in June while the NBA playoffs / finals are going on, the headline is still going to be the NFL. It is king. They fucking know this.
Well, look at the MLB has a World Series in October.
Right. And 6 weeks regular season.
6 weeks into the NFL series.
An 0-5 versus an 0-5 Jaguars-Giants game will pull more eyes than a Super Bowl. Not a Super Bowl, I'm sorry. Then a fucking an ALCS, we'll say.
I think baseball numbers are up this year, which is important to me.
Agreed. Baseball. Well, I think that the talent's getting better. I think that it's getting deeper. I think that more teams are getting. There's better. God bless the pitch count. We have spoken to the advancements in their rule changes have really helped the MLB. Don't do this golden rule. We've definitely
we don't love.
Yeah, no, or what? Yeah, that's trash. But
Stay the fuck out of
the
that.
other things that they have put in to speed up the game, I think have worked because you can't. 3 hours, 3.5 hours for an average sporting event. Most people don't have that time. 3.5 hours, bro. That's a good amount of time to do one thing. And it's supposed to be a leisurely thing. And technically, you're not even doing, you're not making yourself any profit unless you're working, Anyway, NFL, you can get, the Raiders must have scored again.
16-10.
You can make your money and stay in your own lane. You don't have to overshoot. Now at this point it sucks because now that the expansion has happened, they ain't going back. They know that it works. They're making the money. They're not going to say, even though if you talk to an NFL fan, and you say, how was Thursday night's game? Say, well, more often than not, it's trash.
Yeah.
There have been some good ones. When you get 16 a season and 2 of them are good, you have a problem. It's just, go back to everybody on Sundays, dude. On Sundays and Mondays. That's it. It puts out the best product. Those Thursday night games are tough.
Yeah, because why not have 2 on Mondays? I don't mind the 2 Mondays.
Also, I'm not a huge fan of the 2 on Monday, but I can get it. I would rather put 2 on Monday than have 1 on Thursday.
You could have the East Coast. You could do like the East Coast
early
game.
and the West Coast late. Yeah. There's obviously the schedule makers can make it work.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I mean? Christmas and then exactly New Year. Yeah, and soon they'll get on New Year's and compete with college football again.
So, just some update scores in the NFL right now. You got the shitty Titans versus the shitty Jags, and it's 10-13 Jags. So basically, all you're doing there is losing your draft
trading
position.
paint for draft picks. Yeah.
Bucks are beating the piss out of the Panthers, 34-14. Bucks are looking. They need to have a full game lead on the Falcons because the Falcons have the series 2-0.
Right there, it's swept. Yep, correct.
And Penix did look good last week, dude.
He got the dub. Good enough.
Eagles 27-7 over the Cowboys. Remember,
they pulled away.
Eagles started Pickett because Hurts had the concussion the first quarter.
Yes, that's why. Well, that's the contributing factor to why they lost last week's game.
Yeah, fucking losing in fantasy because of that shit.
Well, yeah, because now they're not going to be hucking the ball so much.
Yep, that's
Saquon's
exactly
going to get more touches.
Saquon's got some yards, but AJ's gotten 0.
Yeah.
Giants up on the Colts 28-20. Dude, the Colts are a team. They are in this list that we did last week. You have to think that the Colts, I know the Raiders and Giants need quarterbacks, Titans and Browns, we're not really sure. The Colts are just as needing of a quarterback. Anthony Richardson I looked 2 weeks ago.
4
for 14 in a fucking half, dude. How are you 4 for 14? I could hit 4 passes.
Could you?
Dude, they throw enough screens and shit. I could probably throw the ball 5 yards and hit some of the dudes. 4 for 14. You cannot. We saw what Shane Steichen did with Minshew. We see what Shane Steichen's doing with Flacco. That Anthony Richardson, I think he needs to go sit and just take time in. He's got to work on his accuracy. He's more athletic than most people, but dude, he cannot throw a fucking football. 4 for 14 is not NFL fucking caliber football. That team needs a fucking quarterback, bro. Think of that receiving core. Alex Pierce, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, the kid from Texas, Adonai Mitchell.
No, you just named 4 guys who can all pop on any given day. The thing about Richardson is he's got the gift of a monster arm, but he can't make a 5-yard swing route. And he can't read the middle of the field well enough to understand when the slants are or aren't open. So he trusts his arm too much to put it into the belly of the receiver when you have a middle linebacker who hasn't moved because he's spying you because he's probably thinking that you're going to run. So, no, it's Richardson has athleticism, like you just said, coming out of his ears. He's got it everywhere. The guy is an absolute athlete, but unless you can teach him how to read and throw a 5-yard route, dude, I know it sounds easy, but it's not. And clearly that's the reflection of it. It's just like, dude, if you can throw a 60-yard dime on a post, why on God's green earth can't you throw a swing pass to your wide receiver? Like, what are we doing? Yeah, like, it is so inconsistent. So, the Colts should have been better this year. Even with shit quarterback play, they've been 7-8. Like, if they had even mediocre let's say 12 to 15th best quarterback in the league, they would have easily been competing for the AFC South. They'd be right there with the Texans.
Because the Texans are
fluttering bad. I know they're not on. I know they are the biggest one and done you've seen come into the playoffs in a while.
They're hurting.
They've got no juice.
They're hurting a receiver, but man, their offensive line's bad.
Stroud didn't take that giant leap forward that we all thought. Money went and took him for the MVP. So, I mean, he thought quite high of him. I thought that we all had them winning the AFC South, and they technically did, but they're going to back in. They're going to get in at like 9-8. Like, there's going to be no heat behind that team going into now. Winning your division means you get a home playoff game for that opening week, which is always super helpful.
But you might get the fucking Steelers, dude.
Well, yeah, you're going to get a relatively competitive.
You want to play the Steelers, Chargers, and or Broncos right now? No fucking thank you.
The Chargers are looking like they're going to muddy up a game and they can steal one from you. Dude, that's what the Chargers are trying to do. And then you
just get a dude loose and Herbert just throws a fucking dime. The pass he threw last week when he was rolling to his left and threw it sidearm like this way as the receiver. Dude, Herbert, it must be nice to have a quarterback. Plays good.
I mean,
we kind of did skip over the Cowboys. What the fuck are the Cowboys going to do?
Well, they did exactly what I wanted them to do, which is put themselves in cap purgatory by signing the guys that now aren't producing for your team.
CeeDee Lamb done for the rest of the year. You haven't signed Parsons yet. You have now signed.
You've committed to Dak and CeeDee, right?
Dude, you should not have signed.
You got no running game. So, in fact, this fucking year is the best year for the draft for the Cowboys. They better draft the fucking running back. They better find a way to get one of them RBs.
In all the things I've done, most of the time I have Genty falling there and them taking Genty.
I mean, I don't see how that offensive line still needs some retooling because they're older, right? But
in the pieces they brought in, they drafted the kid last year, so you need the offensive line. But you should not have signed Dak to that contract.
No, I don't disagree with that. But you can get a running back for cheap. You can. Yes. So there is that benefactor.
You can rebuild.
You need more tools, pass catchers, because CeeDee, when he is on, he's electric. He's a great receiver. You can't he's just his ankle's fucked. It has been for a while.
Ferguson's middle of the road tight end.
They haven't fed him this season. He just isn't getting touches.
That might just because of quarterback.
Well, do the quarterback play? Dak, okay. This is where
Dak sits at like a nice solid 11.
Exactly. And he can, when he is on, can elevate to 4-ish.
Dak is like Kirk.
There you go. The ceiling can be super high.
Similar. You give them an offense line, you give them a run game, they will do a good job picking.
They can read, they can play action. Yeah, no, they're good They're good quarterbacks. They are. I'm not going to sit here.
I fucking swear to God, I hope Kurt's not wearing my uniform next year.
It's got to be a possibility. It's in the wheelhouse. I know there's got to be talks about it inside your organization.
If you're going to go Kirk, just stick with Aiden.
But here's the thing though. Here's the thing about Kirk, right? Since he's a veteran and he's going to have the contract behind him that he already signed with all the guarantees, yeah. You can get him for dirt cheap. You can get him for a couple mil at most. You can't tax your team. Why would he? He doesn't have to. He's still getting paid by the Falcons.
I'm kind of looking at the Sam Darnold situation, which is dude. That is probably
that guy.
This is the craziest.
Good for him, right?
Yes.
Good for him.
Well, obviously, me and Trev love him.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm.
This is the craziest quarterback situation in weirdest
for Minnesota
way we've seen in a long time. Usually, we got this like kind of quarterback situations where you're like, Alex Smith's winning, and they got this dude behind him that could be electric. There isn't. We have the dude that's electric in front who is literally throwing. This is what Sam Darnold was expected to be coming out of USC. I know Kevin O'Connell.
His arm is legit.
Kevin O'Connell takes him to the next level.
That's the whole point. He finally got into a situation where they're play to his strengths. He has more explosive plays, downfield throws. He's pushing the ball downfield. This is what wins in the NFL. Clearly, they're fucking 13-2.
I know he's throwing to 2 elite receivers.
Oh, dude, Addison has really stepped up, and JJ is it, man.
And Hawkinson is an elite tight end.
Oh, well, now that he's come back and played well, his open targets have gotten to like 5-7 a game. Like, yeah, no, he's there for a TE for sure.
For me, as a quarterback needy person, I see it. But what I also see is this dude that's calling the plays that has elevated Kirk Cousins, who has elevated all the dudes last year.
If you're Minnesota, if you sign Darnold and you still have McCarthy coming back, he's got to get healthy. He had complete elbow and shoulder surgery.
We got to remember that he had the second surgery.
Exactly.
Which
That's
I don't
what I'm
remember
saying.
what the second one was,
but I don't care.
It was mid-season.
So then you give Darnold that 2 to 3 year contract, right? And you see what McCarthy can come back when he's healthy. And you don't have to rush because you got the dude who just led you to potentially the number 1 seed. They're still in play for the 1 seed.
Number 1 seed, dude.
The Minnesota Vikings were supposed to win 5 games this year, 7 games this year.
Dude, the
pundits didn't know shit. They never do.
Well, we didn't. We picked them last.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
We looked. Well, I actually didn't think their defense was going to be good, and Brian Flores is.
I didn't think the Bears were going to be 4-11, but
I did.
You weren't high on the Bears. That is true.
Going back to like the Vikings, you literally have a shot. So you need to win a playoff game to re-sign him, and what are you re-signing him
No,
for?
I don't think he has to win a playoff game at all. I think that would be, obviously that's what you're looking for, and if you lose it depends. If you get blown the fuck out in that playoff game and he looks like dog shit, then yeah, the question marks will arise. If they have a highly competitive game and they lose by like 2-3, then he was the dude, and you give him a 3-year contract worth like $150.
What do you think he's asking for?
50.
You don't think he tries to go bake and go like 44, 45?
I mean, if he wants to do the hometown discount kind of thing, or the, hey, you guys really gave me this opportunity, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back kind of thing, that's got to come from him, because I think he can reach for 50 given what he's done this year. I think given that he was such a high-end pick, and he never really got the second contract because he floated from there. He never got the second contract from the Jets, so why not get your money?
And I know Trev's not here to defend his boy, but you're telling me that you're going to pay Brock Purdy more money than Sam Darnold?
That's exactly what the NFL is telling you. He's been to a Super Bowl and 2 NFC Championship games, dude.
I know.
He gets the resume alone.
He gets 55. The Niners are
easy.
The Niners are not.
You can't tell me he's not worth more than Trevor Lawrence. You physically cannot.
No, I don't. They shouldn't have signed that contract either. But at some point, a team has to say no, right? For it to break the.
It's the only way. Right. Agreed. For sure. No, some team's going to have to say, look, you're good, not great. You're worth $35 million, not $55 million. So here's your contract, and you can stay with. But with any other, but here's the market: is the quarterback hungry team that hasn't tried it with him. If T. Law hit the fucking open market, or if he's somebody's,
I'd pay him that.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Because you hope that you get the offensive coordinator that fixes it.
Right, because it's not the first team that lets him go. It's that second team that picks him up that will reset. Yeah. It's how the market works, dude.
Hey, we saw this guy coming out, but it's different from a first-round pick to a seventh-round pick.
A first overall. T-Law was supposed to be a profit.
But it's also different. Like if you say no to like the Brock Purdy and he hits the market, because he's a 7th-round pick, people are more like, when you have the first-round pick, you always get the guys who are like, we can fix him.
Sam Darnold got that equity in 4 different teams before he landed on Minnesota. And
that's what the crazy is. That I hope I would love if we're like, oh, guess what? We're going to go
sign. It's what kept Carson Wentz on a roster for this fucking long. And now, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Which
and
is
he's playing behind Mahomes. Which is
another interesting name because you're like, well, he sat with Andy. Can he?
No.
I don't think so, but it's an interesting name.
Throw him 15.
It's an interesting name. I don't want it, but I'm just saying it's an interesting name. You sat behind Andy.
They're going to sniff around it. He was the second overall pick. Once again, that equity is still there, and he's a hulk of a dude, and he can still he's got a cannon for an arm. He just can't read. He's never been able to read offenses.
He's been a very good,
or not offenses. I'm sorry,
he's a very
defenses.
Good locker room guy either.
That doesn't help. That doesn't help.
But with the Sam stuff, dude, I really hope I would love if the Raiders were like, hey, we bringing in this offense coordinator, we'll bring Sam in, and it'd be awesome, but it's probably not happening. The Vikings probably just need to re-sign him. Unless Sam's asked for 50, I think he's going to
give him 50.
I think
you're not paying anybody else. Oh, well, JJ. Yeah, you're paying JJ. I think you've already given JJ his contract. But then you're unlocking him. You're investing in him. No, you are. They clearly have a good connection. They've been killing it this year.
They're hot.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're saying, hey, JJ, we understand that you are an extremely valuable asset to this team. And to have you at your highest, we need to give you a guy who can get you the rock. Not that McCarthy can't age into that guy, but we don't know.
We also got to think, though, that there's no restrictions on him, too. Like, if he goes out and wins a couple playoff games, somebody might give him a bigger bag than the Vikings are willing to give.
No, 1,000%.
Because, we just talked about it. Dude, he should go to the Colts.
Those at the bottom of the mountain are a lot hungrier than the ones at the top, traditionally, right?
we wrote 8 teams down last week.
Dude, there's a good amount that could use his services. Let's be honest, the Seahawks included.
That's number 9.
I mean, Geno, red zone turnovers. It's the reason why we haven't won enough games this season. That is there's multiple factors, but that is the number one factor. We've had more red zone turnovers than any other team in the league.
I also agree with your take earlier on your running game. You guys do not run the ball enough for what, and I don't know if that
for as many good running backs as we have.
Is that because you can't you can't block?
I guess our offensive line is leaky, yeah, and I think Grubbs believes more in the pass pro than the run block. So I mean, it sucks because we have athletes at running back, and he's got a good scheme. Grubbs has got a good scheme, and when we had more yards in the first quarter against the Bears on the ground than we did against Green Bay all of that game. We had 62 yards in the first quarter. We had 58 yards against Green Bay. You've got the most successful teams in the NFL run the ball successfully
and stop the run.
Not that pushing the ball down the field can't. Obviously, Minnesota. That's why I think Darnold gets his contract because
they also run pretty well too.
Adam Jones has been a great. Sorry, you're right. Aaron Jones has been great for them in the year that he's gotten over 1,000 and he's got like 7 touchdowns. Like that's amazing, But the way you keep your quarterback upright is by him turning around and handing the ball off at least 20 times a game. Not 9, 12. It's got to be 20 handoffs. Now, if it's not all to the same guy, that's fine too. But, like, if you're not running the ball 20 times a game, bare minimum, there's something wrong with your offense. And that's what you let the teams turn us one-dimensional, Grubbs. That's what happens when you don't try to trust the running game. Even when it's not working, stay with it unless you're in a clear blowout. If it's like you're down by 3 scores, with 7.5 minutes left, okay, we all understand what that is. But like when you're going to an air raid offense, when you're only down by a score in the second quarter, and then like that's the rest of the game plan, I hate that. I hate that.
Last 2 games we haven't talked about today and going in the morning are the Buffalo Bills is beating the
breaks off the Jets, I'm sure.
26-0 right now.
It's your boy J.A. out there getting it done.
MVP season, brother. MVP season.
We talked about this a little off.
He's winning it. He's fucking winning it.
Do you contribute it more to the Lamar fatigue? Because I think Lamar has better stats. I really do. I know that he's on a better team, and we talked about this too, but go ahead.
I think the Jays winning it. It might be that they don't want to three-peat like voters and shit, but I think that what Josh Allen has done with the team that he has and the record that they have too, they're not just like making the playoffs. They're the number 2 seed, almost lock, stocked, and ready to rock. Then the Raiders are doing shit stupid. They're winning 16-10. Bucks win up again, 41-14. Eagles are up 34-7 now. Colts, Giants still same score, and the Jags kicked the field goal and are up 20-10 in that shit bowl. Dude, my Raiders just can't get out of their own goddamn way. I don't know what we're gonna do, Charlie. I did a couple mock drafts. I don't know. Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward, neither of them are worth trading. The equity you have to trade to get up there.
I would agree with that.
It's just not worth it. You need to, at that
There's
point.
There's no Andrew Luck. There's no Caleb Williams. There's no Trevor Lawrence in this draft.
At that point, you just sit and you take the kid from, depending on who falls to you. You could get
best available.
Carter could fall to you.
Best available.
And then you get the kid from Arizona, the 6'5" receiver. You need a receiver. You need another playmaker. You could even take the D1 lineman from Michigan, that Mason Graham kid. You take what's your best available, and then you just look at, I think Dylan Gabriel's a shot. I want to watch Jackson Dart play again. I don't know if he's got it. Your Milroe, I don't know if you take him at 6. I just think that's a way overreach for a kid that's a project. I think
you can't take Milroe at 6.
I think you start building your team, and you hope maybe AOC, he's playing good last couple games. If you'd have fucking started him at the beginning, like I said, not fucking the Minshew project, and then you get a different coach, and Antonio Pierce has proven that he is not a head coach in the NFL yet. Multiple mistakes all the time. You need, offensive head coach. Guy from fucking Tampa Bay looks real nice right now.
So, the NFL is coming down to the nitty gritty. Unfortunately, you got nothing left to play for but draft.
And we already fucked that up.
My Seahawks are on strength of schedule as of it were.
Unless if the Rams beat you next week.
Well, yeah, then it's a clear division win by the Rams. But we can go into Week 18 with it not mattering, depending on.
Is that in your house? Or?
No, it's theirs. It's in LA. So we have like a 12% chance, and the 2 games that we need to go the other way are not right now. So, it's not looking promising for us to make the postseason. But
0 for 3 on the pod.
My
team wasn't gonna make it, but Trev's team fucking
should have. Yeah, injuries,
rent checks,
rent checks, and just drama that finally caught up to all of it, dude. It's finally.
It's gonna be very interesting to see what happens.
Their offseason is gonna be insane. Their offseason.
Trent Williams coming back.
They could be such a vastly different team next year.
Debo's out the fucking door.
Is McCaffrey gonna be able to come back healthy?
I don't think so, dude. I think he might be donezo, bro.
Not donezo, but relegated to a backup role.
Achilles
a spell guy. I don't know.
Shit.
Yeah, he blew out his fucking MCL because his Achilles wasn't happening.
If one thing doesn't work, dude, believe me.
Or a PCL. I'm sorry, it's PCL. He busted his knee. But he had such a tough season. Like, that sucks because when he's electric, dude, CMC's so fun to watch. But long story short, with the Niners, they have the most. You have question marks. You have open question marks. Like, you know what your question marks are. This team right here, their question marks are yet to be truly unearthed. And then what questions they're going to answer and which questions they're going to sweep under the rug.
Do you not pay Purdy this year and let him
roll?
Know,
dude. I wish Trev was here to answer some of these questions because you're going to pay Purdy. They're going to pay Purdy. They're going to pay Purdy. They have to. Well, they don't have to. No, that's right. But
they could sit on it for one more year.
They could.
But then they.
But what does he hold out? And then you go with
then
who?
You got to fight,
right? Yeah, I would hold out for sure. I'm not playing for $1.2 million or whatever the fuck his last year is going to be worth. It's going to be kibbles and bits, dude. He's making more in fucking sponsorships than he is, from the NFL right now. So, if I'm Purdy, it's basically pay me now or I'll sit. And I'm fine with that, especially with all of the bullshit else that's going on that team.
The rumors are he's asking for 5.5.
And that makes sense to me. That's fair in consideration to what the market has been. He should be making more than Tua and Trevor Lawrence, should he not?
No, they shouldn't have paid Tua.
But
I
they
did.
Paid Trevor Lawrence. But Zach, you can't go back. You can't go back. What has happened has happened. That is the market. That is where the marker is, my dude.
You can still say no.
Somebody with Brandon Allen. Did you see what had happened without Purdy? Not a shot.
Get Sam Darnold for less.
Sammy ain't coming for less than 50. Not to a new team. He might give Minnesota some love because they took the shot on him and let him start the whole season. He might. And why would you want to leave Justin Jefferson? I don't know why you would want to leave that wide receiver room between Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, and Justin Jettas, dude. You're talking about elite, playmakers. Like, I don't know why you would want to leave that.
That's gonna be an interesting. That'll be an interesting topic this offseason.
No, I completely agree. I think
that's huge.
I think. Once again, you have the definitive questions that need answering. He has a bunch of questions behind the scenes that need answering, and I need a quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over in the red zone.
And an offensive line.
Yes, but at least that's always available in the draft. We just got to get the right guys.
It's a weak offensive
line.
We're
mad young. We're mad young, though, on offensive line. So our center retired. Connor Williams retired. So we had to go with Olu, who's played well. Not great, well. And then we've been starting our rookie at right guard because the guards that we had weren't getting it done. So I can't say his name. It's a Samoan name. He was out of Utah. He was a fucking 7th round pick, and he's played once again well. Not obviously insane because Gino's still getting touched up, but good, not great. And then Charles Cross and Abe Lucas finally came out. Like, give us a year to mend. But Gino, you have made some really bad throws, really bad errors. And this is coming from a couch warrior, but I have to give Zach his vindication and the fact of you turned into a pumpkin, bro. You have 17 touchdowns, but you have 15 picks. 15. You're tied for second in the NFL, just behind Kirko. And Kirko got benched. So, I mean, there's that. And he had weapons in Atlanta. Dude. Weapons. They're all over the place.
That team is fucking loaded offensively.
They should have been, once again, much better. Is it a bad head coach call in Raheem Morris?
No, I think you signed the dude, you stuck with the dude, and the dude didn't work.
We'll see what Penix does these last couple of weeks. Z, you want to roll into some fandom.
Yes, we were talking some video game stuff. I plugged in my old Xbox. I had my original Xbox 360 got the Rings of Death.
Mine did too.
But I had the hard drive on the side.
Sure.
So I had hella shit saved on it.
Hard drive. Yeah.
So then I clicked it on my white one that I got whenever, and it's still rolling, but it doesn't open up. My white one doesn't open up. So me and Grayson have been playing Battlefront on PS5. It's the reversion on PS4, right? They redid it for PS4. So we've been playing that, and I was like, you know what, dude? I think I got a couple of the Star Wars games on my Xbox. So this week we got it hooked back up, plugged it all in, and I did. I had Battlefront 2, OG Battlefront 2, and I had Force Unleashed. And playing, it was fun playing them. I love the Xbox 360. It's still my favorite console. I love my PS5. Xbox 360 still just holds a special place in my heart with all the games.
Sure. When it comes to consoles that I played, so Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation 1 is, without a shadow of a doubt, the game I've played the absolute most of my life. But the PlayStation 2 ran for 12 years.
I played a lot of PS2.
So many good games on the PlayStation 2. When I went to the next step, I went to Xbox. I thought the Xbox 360 was superior to the PS3 in almost all metrics.
I did too.
I liked the controller better. I liked the frame rate better. I liked the games even better. The Xbox exclusives were better at that time.
The Xbox 360 games are way better than the PlayStation 3
the
games.
Xbox 360 is probably the best video game console of all time.
I love it. I still play it.
It's just it was great online. It was great for solo play. It kind of did everything really good first, right? PlayStation, now PSN is caught up. I love me my PlayStation 5. Love me that PlayStation 5. I'm going to play some after we close this up. But overall, that 360, bro, I put hours onto a 360, no doubt.
Just going through, because I used to keep your scores and everything, your gamer score or whatever.
Sure.
Dude, going through all the games I played, dude, there's Devil May Cry 4.
All the
Gears of War games.
Because Xbox does gamer score and PlayStation does trophies. Yeah. Right? So it's the same way of keeping, your achievements. And achievements, I love achievements.
Because they always pop up. In your Xbox games, they'd always pop up. You're like, oh, I just got something.
And you get 30 gamer score, 50 gamer score, 100 gamer score.
I just got something,
Well, there was no greater feeling than going after a specific achievement and getting it. because some achievements are easy for sure.
Yeah.
There are some that like you have to grind for, that you have to put in hours, if not weeks, sometimes months, depending on what the actual achievement is. Like, and when you get that little pop up, and it's like, whoop, you just, crossed over the threshold. Here's 50 gamer score. It's like, like, yeah, that does feel good.
Yeah, I mean, the Xbox 360 put in all the love with the more Ultimate Alliances. Number one is epic, where Doctor Doom fucking goes and gets Odin's powers. Dude, the cutscenes in that game are sick. And then number two with fucking Civil War's BA, dude.
Are we not going to talk about the Dynasty?
Oh, yeah, the OG.
Years?
We started that on the PlayStation 2, actually.
Right, correct.
At our house
on like 08 or 09, something like that.
It was the house that me and Matt lived in up off of Tallis. Me and Tuck started it as Georgia Tech and Maryland. I was Georgia Tech, and that Georgia Tech team had Calvin Johnson on it.
Gypsum and Tallis. I lived right around the corner from you at that time. That's hilarious.
No, that was later. Because I moved off of Tallis, and then me and Larry moved back onto Tallis.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That's when you lived
Gotcha.
But no, that's where we started it, in my bedroom on the PS2, and then it morphed into the Xbox 360.
Well, everybody had the 360.
And people used to have to come over and play their games on my PS2 and shit. Dude,
we got up to like, I think the biggest Dynasty we got to was like 10, right? Dude, God damn, dude. So many hours on. And I've been playing 25. And
I still haven't picked it up.
Shout out to Tuck, because he beat me in the Pac-12 championship game, and I'm embarrassed to put this on wax. I gave that game away. Couldn't kick, couldn't throw a pick six. It was, should have had that game. But good game, Tucker. Way to take advantage of my mistakes. And, he went for two. He did the old school, scored with like 12 seconds left, and it was 20-21, and he went for two and got it. And so it was 22-21. Fuck that.
I still haven't played it, dude. It's on my console. I haven't given
I will say it has gotten better. Z, sit down, just play a play now game. Just pick a Nevada, play UNLV or whatever. Just play. See if you even like the gameplay. Just run a game.
It was okay. I played part of a game. I talked to Andy a little bit.
That was forever ago. That was like when you first got it. It was like 3 months ago, 4 months ago.
Trying to figure out some offensive shit, but
so just give it a poke.
Check us out. Give us a poke on Instagram.
Give us a shout. X Instagram. Share all this shit for sure. Yeah, we're gonna be a Buzzsprout for YouTube. Yep. Excellent. That's right.
Hopefully Trev's back next week. We got some hot shit next week because basically playoffs. We'll be basically getting ready for pro football, and the college football will be done.
It'll be down to semis in college, and everything will pretty much be decided in the NFL this week.
Yep.
Week 18 is going to be very lackluster as far as like seeding and things like that. It's pretty much happening at the end of tonight. So we'll definitely update all of that, and then we'll come back with Pod 79. See you guys soon.
See ya.